I'm Rolene Marks. This is the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land. And boy, have we missed you. It has been a couple of days, and it has been the festival of Shavuot, and we've been off air for the past couple of days. But we're back with those top stories dominating the headlines here in Israel. And as you know, we do it every Monday to Thursday right here on the Israel Brief. Don't forget to stay tuned to find out where you can find us online. But first things first, let's take a look at those top stories, and we begin with Prime Minister Bennett addressing his government earlier today, is citing statistics over the past year. This is June last year to this year. The Prime Minister said that it has been the quietest year for the South since the disengagement from Gaza in 2005. The Prime Minister said that a total of 9 rockets had been fired from the Gaza Strip towards Israel, 6 landing inside Israel, and attributes the quietening down to aggressive Israeli policies against Hamas. Also citing the Jerusalem Day tension, the Prime Minister said that even though there was a lot of tension, Israel did not capitulate to Hamas. We have been following the unfolding investigation and story around the killing of Al Jazeera journalist Shireen Abu Akle. And over the weekend, members of Congress sent a letter to U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken demanding that he put the pressure on Mahmoud Abbas, the Palestinian Authority president, to hand over the fatal bullet. Israel, since the horrific incident occurred, has offered to do a joint investigation and has been repeatedly refused by the Palestinians. These members of Congress in their letter stated that it is imperative that we get to the truth and that Abbas is withholding crucial evidence which could determine whether or not it was Israel or the Palestinian side that was responsible for firing the fatal shot. Meanwhile, Senator John Ossoff, a Democrat, and Republican Mitt Romney have joined bipartisan congressional calls for an immediate investigation within the next 30 days to be held to ensure that the truth or whoever is responsible is uncovered as soon as possible. The Israelis have offered the opportunity to Mahmoud Abbas to include American investigators, an offer he has also flat out refused. Meanwhile, we now turn to Saudi Arabia, and these are words I didn't think I would say in a long time, but ties are really starting to slowly warm up between Israel and the Saudis. Over the weekend, a deal was concluded between the United States, Saudi Arabia, and Israel, which would see Saudi air opened to Israeli flights. And this follows intricate negotiations around a particular set of islands that Israel has helped facilitate from Egypt to the Saudis. This three-way deal will also see a renewal of ties between the US and Saudi Arabia. Meanwhile, the Wall Street Journal have published a report or an article that talks about the turning towards rapprochement between Saudi Arabia and Israel, citing an increase in cooperation economically and from a security perspective. The article also makes mention of the fact that the Saudis have grown increasingly disillusioned with Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas, as well as the support for Hamas from Iran. A Saudi official is reported as saying, if the Iranians are supporting Hamas, why can't we support Israel? And also makes mention of a poll which has seen many Saudis under 30 approve of normalizing ties with the Jewish state. What is interesting is that President Biden is expected to visit Israel sometime either later this month or next month. We are waiting for a confirmation, and it is expected that he will also visit Saudi Arabia. And our final story, and I love these kind of stories because we keep telling you how Israel is rocking the summer. Well, it looks like Israel is headed to rocking the autumn or the fall, whichever the side of the Atlantic you are. And we will be welcoming rockers One Republic, who are coming back to Israel to perform in Rishon LeZion. They will also be visiting the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and for you South African audiences, they are headed in your direction as well. We can't wait to welcome them back. They are huge fans of the State of Israel, and the State of Israel is a huge fan of One Republic. So that brings us to the end of today's top stories, but just a reminder of our website at www.layoftheland.online. Our Facebook page, our growing community, can be found at Lottel Site. That's at Lottel Site. Give us a like, a follow, share our content. We are on YouTube. Our channel is at The Israel Brief. If you are watching us on YouTube, please consider liking us, sharing our content, and of course, hitting that big red subscribe button. We really, really need your help to get as much news from Israel out to as many people as possible. And on Twitter, you can find us at Lay of the Land 5. That's at Lay of the Land 5. So with the Tuesday edition, which really feels like the Monday edition, I'm Rolene Marks. This is the Israel Brief. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow.